All right, cut six pieces out of a 2 by 4 foot piece of half-inch plywood. Cost about $30. Then I cut six of this size and this size. Both of them took right at a 2 by 4 piece of 1/4 inch plywood. So 2 by 4 1/4, 2 by 4 1/4, 2 by 4 1/2 inch, and that's what I have invested in that. So right now we're probably looking at close to $40 right there in deal for 6 boxes. So let me go to the shop. I go in and get my tool pass going, and we'll get those pockets there going. All right, I'll jig that up, and this is kind of nice. I just added a piece of this little thicker Baltic, which shims this up just where this is just a hair over this. This is just a hair tight. So when these go over, they cam in and they cover it and hold it down, and then the brass washer reinforces, so there's really no flex in it. Anyway, this panel here comes out of there, and of course I'm just using a little screwdriver right here to pull it out and put 4 cams on there on each corner. So that's worked out good. I've got 6 of these done, and what I'm doing is I'm just doing the one machining on the one, and then I'll go in here and laser one just to get it all right, and then I'll use that and I'll mark the parts out on that. So while all this was going on, I came over here and took my material that was on that sled, on that dolly, and I had a bunch of oak in there, and so it was all pretty much stacked up like that pallet right there. That's a dolly that's on wheels, and that's walnut. So I also got a few chunks of that off of there, and of course everything's on wheels, so I pulled it all out and got it. Then so these were 30, these were 44, about 40 inches, 44 inches long, and they were, some of them were really thick, almost 2 inches thick. So I resawed a bunch of them on the table saw, and of course I cut them straight lined, and basically I took all my parts and I got rid of the funk that was on there, and I straight lined one edge and flipped it around and straight lined the other edge. And it took me probably an hour and a half to get all the lumber dimension down to what I wanted. And then of course I resawed it, and instead of wasting and just sending it through the planer on a lot of these oaks, some of these oak boards were like, they were fairly thick, and so I just run them on a resaw, and then I saved that piece, and it gave me about a 3/8 inch thick piece of scrap, which I put that over right in here for another future project. So a bunch of 1/4 to 3/8 inch scrap. That's not scrap, but they're 19 inches, so I'll be able to put them to use for something. Anyway, my next project here will be planing, and I'll get it all down to about 3/4, and I'll glue it up into panels, and so that'll be what's going on there. So the next thing is to take these panels, and I've got about 2 more steps. Of course I'm going to laser that, and then I'll cut the pockets and then cut them out, and the rest of the machining will be either with the laser, which is one, and then I'll do the rest of them with a 1/8 inch bit, and they'll cut them out and that kind of a thing. So probably use a couple of pin nails in this block that cuts out right here. And I'll tell you what, if you don't have a 23 gauge Milwaukee pin nailer, you're missing out, because they just they're just sweet, and they allow for putting your jigs in and tacking them down, and even if the cutter hits them, they're soft, and it doesn't make any impact on it. So anyway, so that's kind of where I'm at right now. It's Sunday morning, go to church this morning, so I probably won't start any real projects in here until after church this afternoon, and we'll get that done. All right, right here at this stage right here where I'm working on this
cut out, and this is my dice box layout. And of course, the overview of this is it's got all of the different segments that I go through. It's like I said, this is a pretty elaborate setup. But anyway, got lots of layers, lots of sides, and different things in it. But what this is these are the parts that I've been out there working on, and it's basically is cut these purple pockets out. And I recently changed my laser to uh, a 20 watt. And so right now these settings are set at a 3.8 watt. So I've got to change them to the 20 watt. Otherwise, that thing will burn a hole right through all those boards because it has a whole lot more power. And it's really funny that I kind of didn't really think about it. But as you can see, this laser uh, is set up to where it'll burn this outside edges in here, and so you can kind of know where the pieces are, which is not really a bad thing. I'll do this one time on there so I can look at the pieces and know where they're at, and that will help me in doing that. But anyway, the main thing is I need to change the power and speed on these. So I'm gonna, since this is a 20 watt, I'm gonna change my power down to 20 and my move speed to 100. And the rest of this pretty much will stay, where it was at there. I'm using that one to calculate, and then we're going to save the toolpath. And this is the one right here where I'm going to put it right here, and I'm going to get rid of that part right there. So we'll just leave that, and that basically will cut all the names, cut all of the sides, and that'll put it on my jig board, my scrap board for my jig board. So we'll click save and put that on there. And let's see, let's make sure that's right. Okay, we'll close. Then I've got this one here, and this is the laser again. This is just for the numbers, so we're going to change that to 20% and 100%, and calculate, and then click save toolpath. We're using the laser again, and this is going to be doing that, so we'll get that. This is just the numbers. Click save, and it's already right in here. So yes, okay. So that's basically all I did is just change the power settings. Click close, and we'll say file save. This is saving this on my hard disk. And also save this on my thumb drive as a save as. So when I'm working on this, and I go back down here to this right here, click save, and that's saving it on that, and then I'll save this as up in my sharp folder. So between the two of them, it saves pretty good on that. And look at my sharp. Go down to my dice. Where are you at? Dice, D-I-C-E. There it is. Can't read this morning. And then there's of course is that one. So click save, and then it overwrites that. Anyway, so I've got those two, saved now. I've got the two file toolpaths saved, and we're looking at the toolpaths right in here. So the two lasers are done. I've got them done there, and then of course all of this is going to be working out good. And these are all 1/8 inch end mills from here, and that's a 1/8 inch, 1/8 inch, 1/8 inch. So from here on out, I just have the laser in 1/8 inch. The first one is the 1/4 inch, and it clears it out most of the way. So then probably what I'll do is I'll combine these four end mills to one setup, and we'll call it like basically C, and we'll get it to calculate all that instead of the jig. And see where we're at here. That's the laser. I don't need that one. Okay, there's my pocket sides, the through holes, the cut outside the base points, and the cut outside the bases. And so then I can take them 4 right there and save them as a toolpath, and visible toolpaths to one file. And I want that to be the arcs tap, and it's basically taking that same tool and I'm going to put it in there. Under that, we're going to click Save Toolpaths. It's trying to put it up here in the desktop. I'm going to go back down here to the V card and go down here to Pockets, and we're going to call this. I'm going to call this one Cut Out on it. That'd be an 8-inch end mill, all toolpaths. And so we'll just save it like that. And that way it's going to run all those toolpaths together. And I had basically originally had saved all the toolpaths individually. So sometimes, you have to get in there and do that. So anyway, we'll click File, Save Again. Since I did change that, and Save As. I didn't really change that. Click Save, overwrite that, and then File, Save As. I didn't really change anything in that, so, but just to be safe, we'll save that. Okay, so anyway, we got that saved, got the toolpaths updated. It'll be ready to go to put the laser in and let it do its thing. And at that point, then we'll get around and swap out each one of them things from the 1/8 inch end mill, and away we'll go. And head out to the shop after church.